Hi, Riz.
Hi. My name is Rizelle. Everyone calls me Riz, and I am born and raised San Diego, California, and I am an artist and educator in the area. And my formal training is in photography, but I like to think that I'm an artist that uses photography, and I enjoy like all facets of art. And video happens to be my most recent kind of interest, which is how I ended up starting to teach these classes. Yeah.
What started you teaching at Cal State San Marcos?
I was a teacher at Miracosta College when I saw the call for a professor in the video department, and I thought that was a cool opportunity because most of my background in teaching, I've been teaching for 10 years now, and most of my background has been teaching photo classes. But 2 years ago, I started teaching a video production class to high school kids, and then it really made me realize like, oh, I really love video. I feel like video, I think all art makes an impact, but video is like one of the ones that's the most accessible. So then it started making me think, yeah, maybe I should consider what is important to me about teaching. Do I just want students to just learn how to use their camera, or is there a bigger purpose than that?
So tell us about some of your biggest accomplishments you've had.
On a personal level, my family is not from the States, they're from the Philippines. And so I was one of the first people in my family to receive a college degree. And then when I went back to school for my master's, it was like I was the first person in my family to get higher like education. And so this was like a really big achievement for me, not necessarily my family or for my parents, but yeah, I think the other reason why I think it's a big achievement is my parents didn't really want me to like major in art, and I did it anyways. And I think that a lot of people deal with that in school. What your parents think could really influence the choices that you make, and I've seen a lot of people leave the art department because of that. I think that the parents bring a really logical side, like how are you gonna live, how are you gonna eat with this profession, and that's always been like a constant battle for me. And so I think going to school just reminded me like how much I want to live this kind of lifestyle.
So today you brought along some of your projects with us. Can you start off by telling us about maybe your boat project?
Yeah. Okay, so I went to the Philippines for the first time when I was 30, and that was shortly before I started working here. I'd say like 2 or 3 years before I started working here. And when I went to the Philippines, my work really changed. I think when I started learning photo, I wanted to use art to learn about myself. And so in my old work, there's a lot of pictures of me. And then when I came home from the Philippines, I realized that a lot of the work shows that I'm thinking something, but it doesn't say anything about what I'm thinking about. So my work changed. I started thinking about my family a lot, and so these images are like the passport images of people in my family. And so then I started thinking, well, I want to change the shape. So I took a shape that was really common, a familiar shape, and then I also started thinking, like, what does the shape mean to me? Fob is a really common word that's used to describe people that come from a different country. So fob means fresh off the boat. And so I thought, okay, well, my family didn't travel here necessarily by boat, but I feel like the boat, that term, and then my aunt's photo starts to build a discussion of my family in like a deeper way.
Out of all these projects, is there any that stand out to you the most?
My favorite personal project is the flipbooks, because it combines everything that I like. It has video, it has photography, it has sculpture. I really don't like spending a lot of time just on the computer, so I like working on projects, even if I have to use the computer. So I do like digital editing and stuff like this on Premiere, just like you guys do in class. But then to take it back out of the computer and to be able to touch it, like I like seeing lots of pages. And when people are like, oh, that's a lot of memory, I'm like, yeah. That's what I hope it feels like. That's like the feeling that I wanted you to get when people see it. I would say my most important one though is this thing that I'm doing with the Children's Museum right now. I took little kids' drawings, turned them into stuffed animals, and then when you squeeze them, it has a recording of their family history, like something that they recorded. And when the staff asked me, like when you approach people, how do you teach them about the workshop? And I told them, well, I should make my own doll so that I can tell them why I think the project is important. And so this doll right here has my great-grandma and my great-grandfather. And it doesn't have a sound device in it, but if I were to squeeze it, it would say like, this is my great grandparents. They're from the Philippines. They used to sell bananas and watermelons. You know, so I'm trying to like show that I know something about my family. And so my goal with the museum is to help people figure out, or to help people learn about their families at a young age and start that dialogue young.
Where do you find all your inspiration?
Through my students. Yeah, I think that one of the reasons why I'm so active is because I always teach. And when I see my students making work, it makes me want to make work. And working side by side with them is really important to me. I feel like if I ask my students to work on something, it should be something that I'm willing to do myself. So.
Is there anything you'd like to add or say to any upcoming artists out there?
Yeah, I think that this is something that I don't think I heard really early in my art education career. But I think that when you're making art, the best thing to do is to be personal. I think that in this industry where everybody's need is to be the most unique, like I think that's what the perception of art is. It's like, wow, that person's so cool because it's something that I've never seen before. The only way to get to that place is to come from a personal place. Like nobody knows my experience, nobody knows your experience. So if you're really true to yourself as you're making things, there's just no way that anyone could do what you do. And yeah, sometimes I feel like students just need to hear that out loud so they can like believe in themselves and know that the things that they think and the things that they say and the things that they make have substance to them.
All right. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank
I
you.
think that will conduct our interview.
Cool.